Hello, my loves. I have some impromptu unboxings, or I guess I should say unplanned unboxings. I had a day just a little while ago where I went down to Portsmouth with a very dear friend of mine. And we were exploring in Dedwick's Emporium, which if you ever go to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, I highly recommend you check out. And they had some decks that it was very difficult for me to not purchase. But they did have one deck that was relatively inexpensively priced for a small retail shop. It was priced out at $26.95. And this is the Ferenc. Hey peeps, I have two unplanned unboxings coming to the channel this weekend. Recently, a very dear friend of mine and I went down to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. We just took a little time and we explored some of the lovely shops down there that are, you know, more witchy and unique themed. And so we ended up in Dedwick's Emporium. I would highly recommend Dedwick's Emporium and the Pickwick Mercantile if you do happen to find yourself in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and you are pagan path or witchcraft inclined. You will not be disappointed in those two places. Yeah, in fact, I feel a need to go back because there are a few things that I would like to now get again based on my trip. But anyhow, so we went into Dedwick's and they actually had a pretty impressive tarot collection. They had some, you know, beginner basics that you would expect, but they also had some really unique decks. And I saw this tarot deck there and ended up purchasing it. So this is Ferenc Pinter's tarot. This is a Lo Scarabeo deck, and I know nothing about the deck, nothing about the artist. I just looked at the box and I was like, I feel like I should have this deck. It kind of reminded me of Degas' works, and it just had a feel that pulled me in. So then I did just the bare minimum of research because I really don't want to have an outside opinion on this deck. But it says that that this individual is a world famous painter, and it's brilliantly compiled from the painter's vast body of work, and they are borderless cards. So we are going to see what we think of this deck. 78 cards, and I'm sure it has the typical Scarabeo guidebook. Oh, that did not work. Trying really hard not to damage the box. There we go. Okay. So, and I'm sorry because I'm a little bit sniffly today. I do apologize for that. So nice matte boxing. I love this image. Oh man, it just pulled me in so much. Oh, you know what else this reminds me of? Maxfield Parrish. So I was like, yeah, Degas, Maxfield Parrish. So inside of the box is white. And then we have the typical little white book in multiple languages. Looks like we get about 40 pages in English. So a little description about tarot. Okay, so they were an artist from 1930. They lived from 1931 to 2008, orphaned at a young age. The artist grew up in Budapest, Hungary, trained as an artist. I think that was a little misspell there. Let's see. 1956, he made his way to Milan and found work in Italy as an artist, and then painted the Trumps in 1989 for the majors. Wow, that's awesome. And then the publishing house paired those originals with 56 other beautiful artworks created by the artist in his life for the miners. That's awesome. Okay, so it looks like some basic information is provided. You're definitely going to need an intro to tarot book if you're new to tarot. A little talk about how to perform a reading, and then we get into, looks like we get a paragraph each for the majors, and the minors still have a paragraph each. So you are definitely getting some information. It'll be worth giving it a read. Okay, so it has all of a sudden grown very dark. Okay, so I can't see the backing yet, but it looks like really thick. I'm not sure why that is feeling thicker to me. I just had a moment. I'm having one of those days where I'm like, I think a little bit sick. Been dealing with a migraine on and off for the last few days. And I just feel like really spacey, so please forgive me, guys. Oh. Okay, so it's definitely a shiny cardstock. This is not matte. And here is the backing. Oh my gosh. Okay, I actually really like that backing, especially for the winter months. That's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, and it feels very hefty and weighty in the hands. And here is my Rider-Waite Smith to compare. Yeah, it's definitely thicker, but they're a very similar size as far as length and width. But for some reason, of the card itself, but for some reason this together feels very thick. And the cardstock is kind of similar to Darkwood Tarot, honestly, which I've been finding lately. Have any of you that like my Darkwood Tarot is not, she's starting to show some serious wear, and I am very gentle on my decks. That's a discussion for another video. We're gonna bring it in, Racine, bring it in. Bringing it in. We're bringing it in, guys. Okay, so I have to get a little bit closer to you because it's getting really dark. Actually, let me adjust the lighting a little bit. For she does have a ring light. She just forgets that. That's much better. Okay, so it's kind of like Dolly a little bit, right? Oh no, that's gonna show. Pause. All right, the cardstock is too shiny for me to use the ring light. So you can see how like wet it looks. There's the Magician. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit more Dolly now that I'm, oh, I like the High Priestess. Kind of surprised, I like the High Priestess a lot. Kind of surprised that I don't already have this, to be honest with you. It's not my favorite Empress. Interesting she's in the sky. I do like the Emperor though. The Hierophant is beautiful. I really like that Hierophant. The Lovers. Oh, I like that one. Oh my God. The Chariot is stunning. Yeah, the Strength card is, this is the one that caused me to purchase the deck when I saw it in the shop. There's the Hermit. The Wheel. Justice. That's very interesting. The Hanged Man. Let's see. Oh my God, the Death card is glorious. Let me see what they have to say about this Hanged Man. I'm very intrigued. Composed of mucus dripping from his nose. A time of slowing down, restriction, immobility, and initiation. In a reading, sometimes life can be a bit ridiculous. Be still and reflective. It can be incredibly frustrating to not be able to move onward and upward, but when life turns upside down, we see everything around us from a new perspective. Surrender and allow the situation to play itself out. You will likely arise changed and renewed. Note his focus. So note where the Hanged Man is focusing or where the gentleman with the large nose is focusing. That's an interesting little jumping off point there for you in your own personal tarot practice. That's very interesting. Okay, so the guidebook is definitely one to check out. I really like this Death card. Temperance is lovely. The Devil. I can already tell that this is going to be one of those decks that I'm not like lustily in love with, but that reads really well. Do you know one that I'm thinking of around this is that one that I call the Alien Tarot deck? Is it Luminous Void? It's an independently produced one. If I remember, I will put the link to that unboxing, I like the moon, in the deck, in the description box below. But it's that blue kind of alien, but like 80s artwork alien vibes. And I don't always love the artwork in that deck, but it's a really powerful one to read with for specific clients and specific readings. And so I have a feeling that this deck is going to be very similar to that, where it really feels, where it gives really powerful readings, but I might not be absolutely in love with all of the artwork, but there's very important reasons for the artwork for the deck to be in my collection, if you know what I mean there. Really struggling to make sense today. So now we're moving into the Suit of Cups. I do like that too. Like the 3. A lot, actually. Oh, I really like that 4. The 5 is, okay, wow. All right, I like the choices for the Suit of Cups for sure. Hmm. 8 makes a lot of sense. And then we have the 9 and the 10. Okay, this is fascinating choice for the page. Here's the Knight. This is like so making me think of Teddy Roosevelt, who's not necessarily who I would associate with the Knight of Cups. I apologize, guys. There's the Queen. You know what else it's reminding me of? Oh, I like the King. It's reminding me of, see, isn't that kind of Degas though? Like evocative of some of Degas' work. You know, this is also making me think of Tarot of Mystical Moments or Tarot of Magical Moments. That's another deck where I don't always love all the artwork in that deck, but it's a really strong deck. Like it's one that I can't see not having that in my collection. Now we're moving into the Suit of Pentacles. I have a feeling that this is going to be a deck that is similar to that for me. Oh, I like the 2 of Pentacles. Okay. I have to say that the size of the deck, even for me, and I have larger hands, so you guys know that I'm not one who usually has a complaint about that, because I do have larger hands, but I do understand that, you know, not everyone has larger hands like I do. This is kind of heavy in my hands. So if you have smaller hands, you may want to be aware of that. If you're not 100% pulled in by the artwork or the feel of the deck, it may become a headache for you. This reminds me of an Andrew Wyeth painting. This is 7 of Pentacles. It's gorgeous. Okay, so here's our 9. Always an important one for me. I don't mind it. It's a better 9 for some of the ones I've seen lately. Oh my God, I love the 10. So just to be aware that it's definitely a hefty deck in its size. I like this 10 of Pentacles a lot. We have the Page of Pentacles here. Wow, the Knight is, that's an interesting take on the Knight of Pentacles or the Knight of Coins. I'm gonna have to sit with that one. Here we have the Queen. Oh, the King is interesting. Yeah, the lighting is all over the place right now. I apologize, guys. Okay, so now we move into the Wands. Oh, I don't like the depiction of the Wands. Do you see that? Oh, I like that ace though, but that's like taking away from my enjoyment of the imagery. Guys, they could have done something a little different there. Yeah, that's like Degas vibes for me. Oh, I like the Four of Wands a lot. That's a great choice. Look at the 5 as well. That's a great one. And we have the 6, which that's a classic 6 of Wands feel for sure. Oh, look at the choice for the 7. I like the 8 as well. And then here's the 9. And the 10 of Wands. Very interesting choice for the page. And interesting that the Knight of Wands has bulls in the background. Okay, I get the Queen of Wands. Oh, I totally get the Queen of Wands choice. The King of Wands is a very interesting choice. Yeah, this deck has a fascinating way of pulling you in. You know what? You know what Oracle deck would work great with this? The Tantric Dakini. That, oh my God, I'm pulling that out to use with this. Okay, I really like this too. I don't usually like the 2 of Swords imagery. I really like that. Okay, here's our 3. Yep, I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, I like the 4 too. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm glad I got this deck. You know, I had one of those moments where I was like, do I need another deck by this publishing house? Like oh, the 5 is awesome. I was like, you know, is it gonna be just another deck that I'm worried. I'm just like, it's not a deck that's gonna get used. This is gorgeous. 6 of Swords. I will absolutely be using this. Yeah, okay, I'm really glad to have this in my, look at this 7. I'm really glad to have this in my collection. And I'm actually about to make a video on the decks that I'm using in November because I've had this really, I won't overshare in this video about what I'm going to talk about, but this is actually kind of, oh my God, look at the 9 of Swords. It's kind of in keeping with what's been pulling me in for decks to work with in November and December. So, yeah. And you know what it kind of in a way, some of this reminds me of, oh, he worked with Egon Sheila. This, like, for some reason, both of these kind of remind me of Sheila's artwork. Okay, so thank you for taking that little trip down the rabbit hole with me. That was another artist whose work, I love this page. Yes. We just went down a little art history rabbit hole. Okay, I think I get the Queen. I'm not in love with it. And I'm honestly not really in love with this Knight, but I do like the Page of Swords. Like, I get it. And then here is the last card in the deck, the King of Swords. I get it. I don't love the imagery, but I get it. Like, I wouldn't put that print on my wall, but I do get it. Okay. I'm really glad I got this deck, guys. I'm really glad that I didn't know. Here's that backing again. I'm really glad that I didn't know about the deck, that I hadn't watched any reviews or unboxings. I just saw it. I was pulled in by the strength card image on the box, and it was totally worth it. This is going to get a lot of use in client readings for sure. And I'm very intrigued to see how this will pair with the other decks that I'm preparing to make a video on. So don't be surprised if you see this guy included in that list as well. If you are on the fence and the artwork pulls you in, I think this is a deck worth purchasing. I can really see how it could be very impactful and powerful. And another deck I would say that you might have that would have a similar vibe would be, oh my God, it has a butterfly on the front of it. It's gone. Something illuminated. I will put the link to the 2 decks that I'm referencing that I could not remember the name of off the top of my head in the description box below for you guys, in case you feel called to pull those out of your collection if you want a similar feel to this. Not the same, but a similar feel into how it's voiced, but you don't want to purchase the deck. So you can check out working with those 2 options. But I think it's going to be a similar straight talker, really powerful in the messages it gives. And I think the artwork is going to really actually assist my intuition very powerfully. Even though I'm not in love with all of the images, I think this is a cool deck. If you're on the fence about this one and you're pulled into the artwork, I would say yes, go for it. If you are not, then I would say give it a pass, because I don't think, like, quality wise, this isn't a collector's deck. You're not getting anything like really special out of the cardstock or the feel of the deck or, you know, the way in which it's presented and packaged. But if you're drawn to the artwork and you think you would use it in readings, it's going to be a really, really fun one to work with. I'm very excited to connect with it. So I hope you found this unboxing helpful. Of course, I will talk about the deck more down the road. As always, I am sending you guys oceans of love, and I will, of course, see you in the next video. Take care.